Welcome back to Past Paradise, where we explore our favorite stars, secret pasts, and astonishing tales. Today we're spotlighting John Goodman and other legendary actors who were also great sportsmen. We'll explore how multi-talented legends from Goodman's college football days at Southwest Missouri State University to the jaw-dropping athletic feats of stars like Jason Statham, a former competitive diver, and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, a powerhouse on the University of Miami's football team, who went from sports to Hollywood. Join us as we explore the determination, dedication, and skill that catapulted these amazing people to prominence in both fields. Get ready for an exciting voyage full of amazing stories and trivia. Ed Marinero. The icon from Cornell University won the runner-up spot for the Heisman Trophy in 1971, the greatest honor ever for an Ivy League player in the modern age. He played for the Minnesota Vikings in the NFL for several years and made it to 2 Super Bowls. One of Marinero's most famous roles was the old cop show Hill Street Blues for 5 years. He is still active as a speaker and is known for his role in Hill Street Blues. Brian Bosworth. In the 1980s, the Boz was a big star in college football thanks to his buzz cut and sunglasses. But his use of steroids got him kicked off the Oklahoma team. The Boz wasn't good enough to play linebacker in the NFL, so he was kicked out after 2 years. This gave him the chance to make movies. He didn't do well in that either, appearing in several bad action movies. He still works as a college football radio host. Fred Williamson. Williamson was an all-star for the Oakland Raiders in the 1960s. He was known as the Hammer for the hard hits he made. After he retired, he became a star in violent and graphic blaxploitation movies. Williamson may be best remembered for his part in From Dusk Till Dawn, a 1996 Quentin Tarantino movie. Carl Weathers, 1948 to 2024. Weathers played boxer Apollo Creed in the Rocky movies, but he used to play professional football before he became an actor. Before he became an actor, the Action Jackson star played linebacker for the Oakland Raiders in 1971 and for 2 years in the Canadian League. Weathers makes a living in shows and ads by making fun of his action hero image from the 1980s. He passed away on February 2, 2024. Esther Williams, 1921 to 2013. Williams was a real swimming star. In the 1930s, she won 3 U.S. national titles. Because of the war, she couldn't play in the Olympics, so she went to work in Hollywood. She was in many aqua musicals, movies that showed off her sports skills, and she also tried her hand at more serious parts. She passed away in 2013 and was 91 years old. Rick Fox. Fox already had many young women going crazy over him at the University of North Carolina, where he played basketball. Fox started acting almost as soon as he became a professional basketball player. He went on to win 3 NBA titles with the Lakers. Since then, he has had hundreds of guest starring parts in movies and TV shows. Terry Bradshaw. The man from Louisiana won 4 Super Bowls with the Pittsburgh Steelers. In 1983, the Hall of Famer quit to work as an announcer, but Bradshaw was already doing voiceovers for commercials, TV shows, and bad movies. In comedies like Hooper and Smokey and the Bandit 2, he was best known for his roles with his friend Burt Reynolds. He is still active as an announcer and TV personality. Bubba Smith, 1945 to 2011. Before he became an all-pro defensive end in the NFL, Smith was a star at Michigan State. After 9 years as a Super Bowl hero, he stopped playing in ads. We know Smith from the plays about the police academy as Moses Hightower. He died in 2011. John Wayne, 1907 to 1979. Wayne is a star in Hollywood. He was the perfect example of a cowboy in westerns and a soldier for our country in war movies. He won the Oscar for Best Actor in 1969 for the movie True Grit. Not many people know that Wayne played football at USC until he got hurt and had to stop. Wayne passed away in 1979. Lou Ferrigno. A legally deaf man from New York was a professional bodybuilder at the same time as Arnold Schwarzenegger. The documentary Pumping Iron was about both of them. It was a huge failure for Ferrigno to try physical work and professional football in Canada before he got the part of his life as the Incredible Hulk in 1977. He continues to work as a businessman and philanthropist. Jim Brown, 1936 to 2023. In college, Brown was great at 3 sports. As a running back for the Cleveland Browns, he became famous in the NFL. While he was still a professional football player, he started acting. He quit football before his big break in The Dirty Dozen in 1966. As an actor, Brown was also a strong supporter of free speech. He passed away on May 19, 2023. Brown was active in advocacy until his death. Andre the Giant, 1946 to 1993. Andrei Roussimoff, born in France, was 7 feet 6 inches tall and much bigger than the other professional fighters he fought in the 1970s and 1980s. He was a guest star on several TV shows and appeared in the 1987 cult classic The Princess Bride. He passed away in 1993. Caitlyn Jenner. He won a gold medal in the decathlon at the 1976 Olympics and played small college football. After the Olympics, he became an actor and starred in movies. Later, he played a motorcycle cop on the hit show Chips in the 1980s. No one knew that he thought he was born female until he told everyone about his gender change in 2014. He continues to be a public figure and advocate for transgender rights. Bob Uecker. It was bad for Uecker to catch in the big leagues, but he was great at calling games. In part because of his work on The Tonight Show, he was cast in the NBC show Mr. Belvedere. Uecker later played a part in the 1989 movie Major League. As of 2024, he's still calling games for the Milwaukee Brewers. Burt Reynolds, 1936 to 2018. Reynolds played football at Florida State University in the 1950s, but got hurt and had to stop. He won an acting award in college and then got a scholarship to attend an acting school in New York. The 1960s were a great time to be in Hollywood. Reynolds worked on several TV shows before the movie Deliverance made him famous. Reynolds passed away in 2018. Stacy Keibler. A big fan favorite, Keibler was a famous fighter in the World Wrestling Federation. After she quit professional wrestling, she worked in several TV shows and presented reality shows. Her most famous move isn't from wrestling. It's from when she dated George Clooney for a few years. She continues to work in television and has a family with her husband, Jared Pobry. O.J. Simpson. While at USC, Simpson won the Heisman Trophy and set an NFL record for running yards. But he will always be linked to one of the most shocking murder cases in American history. Police said he killed his ex-wife Nicole and her friend Ron Goldman in 1991. The Juice was found not guilty in 1995. But the families of those who were killed by the Juice sued him in civil court for wrongful death and won. Now, O.J. is in jail on charges of kidnapping and armed robbery. In the 1970s and 1980s, the Juice was a famous actor. He was released from prison in 2017. He is best remembered for his roles in Roots and the Naked Gun movies. He continues to maintain a low public profile. Buster Crabbe, 1908 to 1983. As a child, Buster Crabbe lived in Northern California. It would be many years before his life would take him south to Hollywood. Crabbe won a gold medal in the Olympics 1932 and a bronze medal in 1928. After swimming, Crabbe had some success as an actor in the Tarzan movies of the 1930s. In 1936, he was offered the lead part of Flash Gordon in the first Flash Gordon series. Crabbe would also play Buck Rogers in the science fiction film series to round out his group of comic strip and fantasy figures. He passed away in 1983. Hulk Hogan. The famous wrestler played a bad guy in Rocky III and often played different versions of himself in TV shows and B-movies. With Hogan Knows Best in 2005, Hogan joined the reality show trend. He got fired from the WWE after a tape of him using racial slurs was made public. He was fired from WWE in 2015, but was reinstated in 2018 and continues to make occasional appearances. John Goodman. John Goodman, known for being a very talented actor who could do many things, once showed how good he was at something completely different: football. The multi-talented artist, best known for his famous parts in movies and TV shows, first made a name for himself in football before moving on to show business. Goodman may not have put as much effort into becoming a professional football player as others, but his sports past makes his story more interesting. Even though his acting achievements may be more well-known, his early sports experiences are also an important part of his life story. Today, Goodman's impact goes beyond the football field. His acting skills continue to captivate viewers, leaving a lasting mark on the movie and sports worlds. Continues to be active in acting with recent roles in movies and TV series. Johnny Weissmuller, 1904 to 1984. He said he was born in Pennsylvania to represent the United States in the Olympics, but Johnny Weissmuller was born in what was then the Austro-Hungarian Empire. Weissmuller was one of the fastest swimmers in the world when he was an Olympic swimmer. As an amateur, he never lost a match. In the 1920s, he won 5 gold medals at the Olympics. After swimming for a while, Weissmuller became famous worldwide as an actor when he played Tarzan in Tarzan the Ape Man, 1932. Weissmuller would play the part in many more movies, and in the 1940s and 1950s, he would play the lead role in the Jungle Jim movie series. He passed away on January 20th, 1984. Kevin James. We bet you didn't see this coming. Kevin James graduated from Ward Melville High School, where he was the best wrestler on the school team. Just ahead of Mick Foley, a friend who would become a star in professional wrestling, James would later use what he had learned as an actor in the movie Here Comes the Boom, where he played a teacher who did mixed martial arts, MMA, in his spare time. He continues to work in acting, with recent projects including movies and TV shows. Gina Carano. Carano was one of the first big names in female mixed martial arts. Because of her beauty, she won fights and was featured in magazines. Carano became a big name in action movies. She was in Fast and Furious 6 and in the 2016 Marvel movie Deadpool. Her acting career includes The Mandalorian, 2019 to 2020. She was fired from the show in 2021. After being fired from The Mandalorian in 2021, Carano continues to act on various independent film projects. Lawrence Taylor. This defender from the University of North Carolina and the New York Giants is in the Hall of Fame. He played football and lived his life without any rules. Unfortunately, that way of life led to drug abuse and trouble with the law. His most famous movie was Any Given Sunday, where he starred with Al Pacino and Jamie Foxx. He continues to make appearances and is active in speaking engagements. Mark Harmon. Harmon is the son of a famous NFL player who won the Rose Bowl while quarterbacking the UCLA Bruins. As a doctor on St. Elsewhere and Chicago Hope for years, and an agent on the long-running NCIS, he is now a TV star. Harmon left NCIS in 2021, but remains a TV star. Shaquille O'Neal. There was a time when Shaq Diesel was in a few movies, and then he started making money with rap music. Since he retired, the former NBA star has been making fun of himself in ads and on TV, like when he recently went on the ABC show Fresh Off the Boat. He is active in various business ventures and continues to appear in commercials and TV shows. Ronda Rousey. Rousey, who is vocal, wanted to raise her image enough so that Marvel Entertainment would put her in the movie Captain Marvel. She is currently a world champion in mixed martial arts and a very popular TV and movie star. She appeared in Fast and Furious 7, 2015, and was in WWE until 2022. She continues to act after she was active in WWE until 2022. Arnold Schwarzenegger. The famous bodybuilder had always wanted to be well known. The top weightlifter and part-time actor got his big break when he got the lead role in Conan the Barbarian in 1982. Because of his role as the robot in James Cameron's The Terminator, Arnold Schwarzenegger became one of the biggest stars of the 1980s. He shocked everyone by going in interesting ways, but he promised the acting world, "I'll be back." The big Austrian actor kept his word and has since played the part that made him famous several times. He is active in philanthropy, politics, and occasional acting roles. Bruce Lee, 1940 to 1973. As a child and teen, Lee had already been in movies, but his fights with local gangs made him start learning martial arts. Lee moved to the United States and created his Jeet Kune Do fighting style. When a TV director saw Lee's skills, he asked him to try out for the part of Kato in the TV show The Green Hornet. Lee died at age 32, but not before becoming a movie legend and making martial arts movies popular in the U.S. Joe Namath. Broadway Joe was a stylish and good-looking New York Jets quarterback who won the Super Bowl. After football, he started taking on small parts on TV, often playing himself. His easygoing nature and fame made him a good choice to host several talk shows. The NFL Hall of Famer talks about professional football today and continues participating in sports commentary and public appearances. John Cena. Before he became a famous wrestler, Cena played football in Division III at Springfield College. In 2005, World Wrestling Enterprises, owned by Vince McMahon, started making movies. John Cena got the lead role in The Marine, one of the company's first movies. These days, Cena works on wrestling and selling cereal more than acting, and continues to work in WWE, acting, and various entertainment projects. Jason Statham. Back in the early 2000s, he was the ultimate movie tough guy. But the sport he played as a kid didn't prepare him for his later parts as a scary bone crusher in movies like The Transporter. Statham was a diver for 12 years with the British National Group. He continues to be a leading action star in Hollywood. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. The Rock had a hard childhood. Rocky Johnson was Johnson's professional wrestler father, and he was never there for his son because he was always on the road. Johnson played for a short time in the Canadian Football League after joining the University of Miami's title team. He then turned to professional wrestling. Johnson's first role as an actor was as his father on an episode of That 70s Show. The star of Fast and Furious is now on the HBO show Ballers, and continues to be one of Hollywood's biggest stars and producer of various film and TV projects. Kurt Russell. Russell didn't want to give up acting, which he had been doing since he was a child. He played minor league baseball instead. Russell is a famous movie star because of the movies he worked on with John Carpenter. Because of this, cult movie fan Quentin Tarantino cast Russell in the future movie The Hateful Eight. He continues to act in movies and television, known for his collaborations with Quentin Tarantino. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He played basketball for the UCLA Bruins and helped them win 3 national championships. He also won several NBA titles with the Los Angeles Lakers. He was already a movie star when the Lakers won. In the movie Game of Death, Jabbar fought Bruce Lee. And in the funny but dark movie Airplane, he played himself. He is now known as an expert on jazz music and writes about society for Time magazine. He is active as a writer and social commentator, focusing on jazz and social issues. Chuck Norris. There are many ways to know Chuck Norris, as an internet joke, a right-wing political fighter, a victim of Bruce Lee, and a tale of chest hair. Before all of that, Norris was a real-life karate winner. That was already part of Norris's plan to become an actor, but he didn't become famous until Bruce Lee cast him as the bad guy in the 1972 movie Return of the Dragon. He stayed active in philanthropy and public appearances, especially within the martial arts community. Chuck Connors, 1921 to 1992. Chuck Connors proved he was a star on the big screen and in the sports world by playing for 3 different teams. After getting out of the war in 1946, Connors played for the Boston Celtics for a short time in the NBA. It was Connors' choice to quit basketball and play for the Brooklyn Dodgers, but he only played in 1 game. After that, he played first base for the Chicago Cubs. The NFL's Chicago Bears also picked up Connors, but he never played a game. After that, Connors quit sports and worked in movies and TV shows for 40 years. He is most well known for his part as Lucas McCain on The Rifleman, an ABC show. He passed away in 1992. Michael Jordan. Jordan may have been the best professional basketball player of all time, but his playing career is limited to one memorable movie, Space Jam, where he played with Warner Brothers' famous cartoon figures. What else did Nike do to celebrate the film's 30th anniversary? A special edition Air Jordan shoe. He continues to be active in business and philanthropy, particularly through his involvement with the Charlotte Hornets. Jason Lee. Lee lived a successful life as a professional skateboarder and extreme sports businessman. He was best known for his part on the NBC show My Name is Earl. In the early 1990s, he chose to try acting. Kevin Smith saw him and gave him the lead part in the comedy Mallrats in 1995. He continues to act and is also involved in skateboarding culture and business ventures.
If you've watched the video till here, that means you've enjoyed the video. Subscribe. Don't forget to turn on the notifications bell icon